For anybody tired of wearing reading glasses, these drops offer a glimpse into the future. Duarte Geraldino.
The Edge at 11 starts now.
The bill upon reconsideration is not passed.
Tonight on The Edge, lawmakers not budging on a budget, likely sending the country into a federal government shutdown. The countdown is on to the shutdown. We're about an hour away.
A pair of last-minute votes failed to pass the Senate, and it's not clear how long it will take to break the gridlock. There are a lot of consequences for this. One of the most immediate, some federal customs workers could be temporarily laid off, which would disrupt the supply chain. Republicans are asking for more funding. Democrats are demanding more than $1 trillion to extend Obamacare subsidies passed this year and to roll back cuts from the Republican-led Big Beautiful Bill.
We see now Republicans are plunging America into a shutdown, rejecting bipartisan talks.
Well, the radical wing of the Democrat Party demanded that Chuck Schumer shut down the government, and he did that today.
Michigan lawmakers also running out of time to pass a budget. If they don't strike a deal by midnight, then it would be the first time ever the Michigan and federal governments shut down at the same time.
Imagine this. It is Friday night. You're out grabbing dinner or maybe something from the store, and a car comes barreling down the street, running someone over.
And you know, police say that happened to 10 people, all by the same driver, on a rampage. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack says it doesn't end there. Jessica, you're joining us live. What happened next?
Yeah, this woman apparently had her 12-year-old and 6-year-old in the car with her. When I talked to sources after we broke this story on Friday, they said the police scanner was really just blowing up Friday night for several hours, all with the same kind of bizarre calls coming into 911 that people were randomly being run over, all by the same SUV. It culminated at a Walmart in Warren where this woman was arrested. Yeah, police say that's 30-year-old Rachel Reckliffe hauled off by police. They believe she was suffering some sort of schizophrenic episode off of her medication. This all started Friday in Royal Oak. She had her 12-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter in her SUV, according to police. They say she was picking pedestrians randomly to run over in parking lots. Now, there were 10 people hurt in all, mostly with minor injuries, but one person did have broken bones. When she allegedly got to Clawson, her son escaped from the SUV, but her daughter was with her during this several-hour ordeal as she headed east into Warren, allegedly hitting people all the way. It ended at the Walmart off Van Dyke near 15 Mile Road, where we're told she bit and kicked police officers.
Officers showed great restraint. You know, in 2025, with the way things are in the world, reports of a motorist intentionally striking pedestrians at random for no apparent reason. In today's times, I think that definitely could have at least merited a consideration for a higher level of force. Our officers were able to use the minimum amount of force necessary and bring her into custody safely.
And she was not hurt, although it looked kind of like an ugly takedown. She was not hurt in any of this. And now those kids, they're actually with family members. CPS has been called per protocol with Warren police, and their mother facing 18 felonies. She's being held on a big bond, $750,000. And sources telling me she knows the criminal justice system well. That's because she is a clerk with the Oakland County Courts. Reporting live in Warren, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
And Jessica, wasn't this a mental health episode that she was experiencing when this happened? I mean, and then using a vehicle as a weapon. It is scary and happening far too often these days because there's really not much you can do.
Yeah, absolutely, Taryn. Yeah, police have ruled out drugs and alcohol. They ended up interviewing some of Rachel Rickliffe's family members who said that she does suffer from mental illness, likely schizophrenia, and was not taking her medicine.
So scary. All right. Thanks for the update, Jessica.
Well, investigators continue to search for a motive after that horrific attack at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc.
Meantime, the Grand Blanc community is stepping up to help the victims. Fox News' Dave Kinchin reports.
With so much heartache filling the air here in Grand Blanc, there's still so many questions that are left unanswered. We reached out to family members of the shooter, including his wife. No answer there. We also stopped by an address listed for the suspect's family, just as a woman there approached us with a few words. Listen in.
We're Fox 2. Can we just...
I know, I understand that, but we are still need some privacy.
Can you tell us, are there any answers you can provide us? Okay.
Meantime, Grand Blanc area businesses are pitching in to raise money and meet the needs of the victims in this time of horrific tragedy. We spoke with the president of the area Chamber of Commerce as she returned from bringing food to some first responders. I asked what that business support looks like. Watch. Is it donating food, raising money, things like that?
Both. The food has been incredibly helpful, especially to our first responders who are working night and day and have been since the moment of the tragedy on Sunday. And then as far as money, there is a fund that has been set up for the families, and that is through Elga Credit Union and the Grand Blanc Township Police Department.
Got it. And this is your hometown. What has this done to you mentally, spiritually? What's going through your mind?
Well, you never think it's going to happen in your own hometown, and it hit really close, obviously, to home when we found out that this had happened. But being from this area, I am incredibly proud and humbled to serve this community in any way that I can, because they served and raised me.
You can also donate to the victims via several verified GoFundMe pages that have been set up. Tens of thousands of dollars have already been raised. We have more information at fox2detroit.com/links. Lastly, police warned that any other fundraisers that have not been confirmed are likely scams. That's the latest here in Grand Blanc. I'm Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
An endangered missing alert has been issued for a Grosse Pointe Park woman. Police are looking for Janet Michaels. She's 60 years old, last seen leaving her home in the area of Colonial Court and Mack Avenue. She's described as 5'6", 115 pounds, with reddish blonde hair. Officials say she could be in danger. Right now, Grosse Pointe Park Police are asking anyone who sees Michaels or knows where she is to call 911 immediately.
This was not random. This was not an accident. It was not coincidence that they showed up at his house. This was targeted, and this was very well planned.
Opening statements underway in the trial for one of the men accused of posing as a DTE worker and murdering a man in Rochester Hills. Oakland County prosecutors say Carlos Hernandez and Joshua Zauzo convinced Hussein Murray, whose picture you just saw there, to let them into the home last October. The defense attorney for Hernandez admitted that he entered the home, but she doesn't believe prosecutors will be able to prove Hernandez killed Murray, who also went by Sam.
You'll hear Sam is leading the way downstairs, and behind him is Zuazo, and behind him is defendant Hernandez, who closes the door. And that's going to be the last time Linda ever sees her husband alive.
But what I will convince you of is that the unfortunate death of Mr. Murray was never part of the plan, never even part of the discussion between Mr. Hernandez and the other individual. It will be clear to you that Mr. Hernandez did not take part in the beating of Mr. Murray.
The other suspect will be in court tomorrow morning for opening statements. We're planning on streaming that live online around 8:30. You can catch that on our website or on Fox Local.
I heard it was a lot of shots, pop, 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 like that.
A wild scene for witnesses as police arrest a suspect after a shooting in Ypsilanti. A short chase ended in Van Buren Township when the suspect's vehicle drove off I-94 and crashed on the service drive near Van Buren Park. Two men got out of the vehicle and ran off. Police arrested one of them at Van Buren Park. The other is still on the run. Nobody was injured in the shooting in Ypsilanti, but multiple homes were damaged. Well, some see this as another reason to go to Belle Isle, while others see this as a way to stay away, or a reason to stay away.
Yeah, so true. In fact, we're talking about an alligator that has been spotted on the shore. Fox News' Dave Spencer has been attempting to track down the gator himself. He joins us live with the latest. Dave, let us know how it's going.
Yeah, still no sign of this alligator. I can confirm he's very good at hiding at the moment, and we're not the only ones looking for him. In fact, I stopped by a nearby pet shop in Grosse Pointe Woods who specializes in tracking exotic animals and rescuing them, and they say they're willing to chip in any way they can to help catch this alligator. So here's that video that prompted all this, taken by a visitor to Belle Isle this past Sunday. She shared what appears to be an alligator roughly 3 to 4 feet long, sunning on a rock near the Blue Heron Lagoon. The DNR has seen the video and they confirmed it's the real deal. The owner of Lou's Pet Shop, located a few miles away, they say they're also aware. They tell us they are often called to help rescue pets that should never be owned in the first place. The owner says the pet store is licensed to care for and rescue exotic pets. And Cook says just last week they took in a monitor lizard that was dumped at a Goodwill store in Madison Heights, and they would be happy to help in this situation as well.
Animals that we have in the store, almost probably 80–90% of them are rescue pets, secondhand pets.
And that's pretty much the scenario where people just no longer can care for them, or they don't want to and has outgrown their habitat or whatever the case is, and they reach out to you guys?
Absolutely, yeah. It happened right after COVID. We called it the COVID dump, and people had extra money in their pocket. They were at home, so pet industry boomed all over through the country. And then after COVID, people went back to normal daily routines, and lifestyle changes are coming back, and that was when we saw a big increase, and it's kind of continued now, even with the slower economy too. People can't afford to feed their pets right now.
So get this, you have to have a license. It's not illegal. You have to have a license to own an exotic pet like that. It is illegal, however, according to Cook, to have one in Wayne County. If you do find yourself having a pet, but it's outgrown, you've outgrown it, in other words, you can hand it off to Lou's and they will take it gladly off your hands. Reporting live in Detroit tonight, Dave Spencer on The Edge.
We're gonna go Pirates on 3.
There we go. Good job.
1, 2, 3.
Well, gators aren't the only animal in the news tonight. A Detroit lion leading the charge downriver. How he's helping set up kids for success. That and more coming up on The Edge.
I'm meteorologist Rick Schluterman. Cool and quiet again tonight. Numbers will be falling back into the middle 50s for overnight lows. And then here's a peek of your Wednesday forecast. Not as warm tomorrow, but still very nice. A check of the weekend numbers after the break.